Hi, I'm Mike, and you're watching Spiritual Combat. And today, what I'm talking about, title of this is probably going to be Missing the Forest for the Trees. And just making sure I clarify and I want to make sure I got all the skin off the bone on the video I did yesterday. Kind of just trying to, maybe I didn't explain it all the way, but just trying to make sure, what I want to do today is make sure people understand exactly what I was saying as far as, understanding that the way Yah works. Like, I think a lot of people bring over, a Greco-Roman understanding of the scriptures. They bring with them what they learned in church into this Hebrew Israelite walk, and they don't see how logical and practical Yah works. A lot of people think it's mystical and kind of, I don't think they're making a connection, but the things Yah does are very literal, but a lot of people kind of do it ritualistically and, and like they spiritualize it in a bad way. So it's like, for instance, the Sabbath, when we found out, hey, we need to start keeping the Sabbath, we started keeping it, and in keeping it and then studying Yah's word, one of the things I came to realization of is there's a logical purpose behind keeping the Sabbath. In keeping the Sabbath, you're ensuring that, number one, you're not going to overwork yourself. Just thinking about that, there's a brother, he was telling me how there's a person in his family who was a preacher. And so he was trying to grow his ministry, and he had a job, and he was just working. He wasn't taking any days off or anything like that. And what ended up happening is he disappeared, and nobody knew where he went. And eventually they found him, and he had began losing his mind. And they had to hospitalize him. I think he had started smoking marijuana or something. But he was beginning to go crazy. And what happened, he was suffering from exhaustion. He had overworked himself. So it pays to have that day where you just drop everything, take a day off. On top of that, it pays to have that day where you drop everything and you focus on Yah and keep your mind right. Because if you don't, 1 week will pass and hey, you ain't gotten your word. Then the next thing you know, it's 3 weeks. Then it's 4 months. Then it's a year, and then you going crazy. Okay? So there's logical purposes behind the things Yah has us do. It's like it's very logical and understandable. It's not ritualistic the way a lot of people make a lot of stuff in the Bible. Same thing with not eating pork. Science has proven that pork's bad for you. So with that said, what I was talking about yesterday is that the curses, the exact answer to the curses is Yah's laws. When you look at every single curse that's upon us, that are in Deuteronomy, or if you just go out and simply observe our people, and then you look at what Yah commanded us to do, you see the exact solution to it. And if you still having issues in your life and your family life ain't right, your marriage ain't right and all that, it's because in there somewhere you're breaking Yah's laws. So all that to say why I'm naming this Missing the Forest for the Trees is what? Satan is deceptive. A lot of our people don't even realize they're breaking Yah's laws. They're unaware of where they're off at. One of the hugest, biggest areas I see our people breaking Yah's laws and struggling with, probably the most important areas is in their own mind, their personality and their psyche. Because, and that's why I'm always pushing, read Proverbs and Ecclesiasticus. And then read Psalms also. Because those books are going to help you get your mind right. But people don't understand where they're off at and what they're struggling with. And then a lot of people will see that they're off, but they don't know how to change it because it's a spiritual or it's a demonic stronghold and they don't know how to overcome it. But again, when you study Yah's word, it tells you some of that stuff, you got to pray, fast, seek the Lord to get it out. And, you know, you see it in a lot of areas. So the first area, like I said, you got to start looking at is, of course, in your mind, getting your mind right. Then the next place you're going to run into that is in relationships. Our women are particularly susceptible to the demonic manipulation and the demonic power in America. Like it's ran by Satan. So he targets women, you know, and he'll have, that's one of my, you know, one of the big things you can look at among our people is even among the Hebrew Israelites, our women, there's a struggle there. Because one of the things I saw, there's so many kids, you know, our people are fertile. There's so many children out there. Our people are having so many kids. But you can't get two women to come together and do a daycare or anything like that. Because people's minds aren't right. Like I was talking about yesterday. I see women, they're busy posting on Facebook, doing all this stuff. They got a bunch of time. Why don't y'all start cooking meals? So we not poisoning ourselves at these fast food restaurants. You know what I'm saying? Or fast trash restaurants, because it ain't food, you know? And I look at my wife, like, and I look at her and then I look at other women, because my wife, she works, you know, she has a full-time job, and then she sews, and she was doing that as a business for a while, but then now she switched over. She's making natural health and beauty products. She's working on that. But now she's realized that it deeply bothered her to her soul that she does not want her children or any of the children of our nation in these public schools or in the public food system. So now she's directed all her free time and resources to beginning to get qualified so she could begin doing her own daycare, because she got convicted in her spirit and wanted, you know, and I know it's Yah dealing with her, but she got convicted deep down in her spirit to want to, she just knows deep in her spirit that that's wrong. It's off. She was telling me about what she was seeing, what she was feeling, because I guess she went on a field trip with our daughter, so she saw how the schools were operating kind of, and she knew. And it lit a fire under her, and she is pushing hard with any bit of free time she has to bring that into fruition. That's book. That's putting this word into action. That's not sitting on Facebook, posting, debating with people and all that. That's doing what a woman is called to do. That's a Proverbs 31 woman. And I'm not saying everything's perfect, that, you know, I'm not trying to say, hey, my wife's perfect and this, that, and the other, but she's working towards perfection. I could say that. And that's what we need to be doing, grinding to that. And if everybody was doing that, it'd be overnight that these curses would get broke. Because, you know, and I'll do a video on what she was telling me about these schools. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, you can see that, hey, that's part of the curses. That's part of the oppression. the stuff they're teaching them, the stuff they got them around, the stuff they're trying to push on them, the food they're feeding them, the teachers, all that. So it's like, you know, and like I said, I'll have to do another video on this, but I just see a lot of people not in their lane. They're in other lanes where they don't belong. They're not working like that one book by Steve Covey. They're not working in their circle of influence. You know what I'm saying? They're not, you know, it's like having, you're a financial accountant and you're trying to be an auto mechanic. It's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? You're, you know, you're a boxer and you're trying to, play basketball. You know, it's not going to work. You know, you got to work where everybody has to stay in their lane in order for this thing to work. Or else things are going to, you know, be all mixed up. So anyway, we got to see where we're missing the forest for the trees. These curses, Satan's behind this stuff, and he's a deceiver. So people are deceived. People don't even realize they off when they be off. You know what I'm saying? I did in my lesson, I was showing where it said, cleanse me from secret, in Psalms, where David said, cleanse me from secret sin that you're unaware of. You got to meditate on this thing, because this stuff, I'm still working on things. I'm still bringing things out of me that I am unaware are there. But I'm looking, because, you know, it's just beneficial in so many ways. But anyway, put comments in there. You know, we'll respond to them, and we can have a discourse and get down to the truth. So absolutely put comments in there. You know, I'm all about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to get all angry, and it's not going to turn into a debate or anything like that. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and have a nice day.